Hey yo, what's up my people? Today I'm going to be bringing you a video which has been requested by you guys quite a lot in the past. A PvP, PvE best cannons video. What the best cannons are for taking down enemy masts, accurate long shots, and overall the smoothest experience when naval fighting. In case you didn't know, I stream over on Twitch quite a lot where you can get the Sea of Thieves drops when they are active and also see me stream other games. I'd love to see you over there sometime so I can talk to you and get to know my audience. What I will be discussing is the worst cannons, how to avoid buying or using the ones that are just going to hinder you in battle, as well as the best cannons and how to pick the best ones which you want to use. I will not be discussing how you can, choose the best ship cannons while also maintaining a nice aesthetic. This is purely with the intention of trying to get yourself the best kind of advantage when using the cannons. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So starting off, what the first cannons you're going to want to not even touch at all. This is probably, I would say, the worst cannon design ever. It's the silver blade cannons, the obsidian cannons, all of that stuff, the reskinned aristocrat cannons. You can see me struggling to find them. There we go, I finally found them. They're terrible. If I go and show you over on my ship, we'll use the silver blade so you can see them easier. I think it goes without saying that these are disgustingly bad and inaccurate to use. Like, they go lower than where you're aiming, and it's just, they're so bad. It's hard to show you in the footage, but trust me, when you use them, you notice how bad they are. So you want to stay as far away from these cannons as possible. It's just really hard to aim because of how big the circle at the end is. You're kind of like, it's hard to find where the middle is and where you kind of want to guide with, because there's so much material to use. So that's the first cannon which you want to stay away from. Just any of the aristocrat, obsidian, silver blade, cultured aristocrat, everything. Stay away from it. Next up is anything that's along the lines of the cannons of sunken sorrow, or the shining pegasus, the mayhem, the rogue tinkerer isn't terrible, but it's not great, and anything with just too much going on. So if I show you the cannons of sunken sorrow, just like look at how much is blocking up your screen. It's just like, it's unnecessary, and it just ultimately it's disgusting. And look, you can't even see where your cannonballs are going. So stay away from the Sunken Kingdom cannons for sure. And as you can see here, I've got the mayhem cannons on now, and you may think, oh, it's nice that you got like an iron sight on it. No, just know the cannonballs go nowhere near where you think they're going to go when you're aiming, and they're just lower than where you're aiming, and it's horrible. Stay away from the mayhem cannons. Now continuing on from that, essentially just the principle is stay away from anything which is chunky and anything which has material on top of the barrel, right? So if you look at the ocean crawler ones, for example, like the Asia ocean crawler cannons, you throw them on, there's not a lot of material on the top. Honestly, they aren't bad. It's not too clunky. Like, by no means would I recommend using these, but for some reason, if you ever do, just know that the ones with the less material on top is better. So if you just need me to recap, stay away from anything which is clunky, takes up a lot of vision, and has too much material. That's essentially the principle. Anything which doesn't have a nice, clean iron sight for you to aim with. So with that noted, we're going to be moving on to the best cannons which you want to use. The default ones, right? The default cannons are arguably the best cannons in the game, because if you go and look at it, it's accurate, it's as intended, it's default, it's going to give you the most accurate view possible, because there's nothing, they designed these cannons intended with accuracy and being the best. There's no additional cosmetics, there's no additional stuff on top, on the side, anything like that. It's just pure default cannons, what was meant to be in the game. So the default cannons, anything like that is a win. Just anything like that. So for example, you have the sailor cannons, the golden sailor cannons, which I'm assuming a lot of you probably don't have. The Magpie's Wing are very similar to the default cannons. Anything like the Rogue Sea Dog cannons or just the normal Sea Dog cannons, as you can see, it's literally the exact same, just another reskin. Following on from that, anything which sort of has like a cylindrical barrel, such as the Cursed Ferryman cannons. The Gilded Phoenix aren't bad. The Inky Kraken aren't terrible. The Sea Dog cannons are something which is personal taste. Personal taste meaning they're not amazing because of the feathers which you have on the cannons. They just kind of get in the way for some people, but other than that, they are essentially default cannons, and they provide a very nice iron sight and aiming. Just some ones which you could take note of are the Thriving Wild Rose cannons, the Merchant Ambassador cannons, the Dark Adventurer cannons, the Eternal Freedom cannons, the Spartan cannons, and that's about it. There's nothing else that you really want to be using. As you can see here, you have the Castaway Build-Rat ones. They are essentially default, but then they have this weird little tip at the end, which can make it a bit weird for some people. They aren't terrible, they're mediocre. I would stray away from them. If you're trying to be the most accurate possible, then I would honestly just recommend going with the Sailor cannons, the Golden Sailor cannons, any of the Sea Dog cannons. Magpie's Wing are really nice. But yeah, that's been the video. Essentially, the best cannons that you can possibly use are the most minimal designed cannons, because the less stuff and clunk you have on your screen, the more close to default you get, the better. The default ones obviously are going to be some of the best because it's designed with the use of the cannonballs, like it's as the game intended to be used. So things such as the Nightshine Parrot with the additional kind of stuff in your screen, a thicker tip where the cannonballs come out, it's just going to make aiming a lot more difficult. If we also go and look at the Crypt cannons, the new ones, as you can see, there's a lot on the screen, and I'll go and show you on my boat just as a last little tip or a last finishing note, because obviously these are the new cannons. You might be wondering what they look like and how they use. Well, just think about it. The barrel is going to be about there. That's the tip of the barrel where the cannonball's going to come out. However, you see a lot higher up. Now this at long distance, it's just going to make hitting your shots a lot more difficult. So stray away from anything which just adds stuff to the top of the barrel. It's just going to make it a lot harder to hit your shots. So yes, that's the end of the video. The best ones are the most simple cannons, and the ones you want to stay away from are the ones with loads of clunk. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider leaving a subscribe and liking, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.